Secretary there. Well, we're joined by Brigadier Ben Barry, who's Senior Fellow in Land Warfare at the International Institute for Strategic Studies. Welcome.
Good morning.
What's your view on this?
Well, my view is that this increases the military risk in Afghanistan of the current plan not succeeding. But of course it reduces the political risk domestically for President Obama, both in the short term, and improves his prospects for the election.
And so, weighing those risks in the balance, the military risk has to be taken for the sake of the political risk.
Well, that's clearly the decision the President's made. I mean, it's been well reported that the military advice he was getting was for a far smaller reduction.
And you would agree with that?
Well, put it this way, maintaining the pressure on the Taliban and the insurgents for the remainder of this fighting season would lead to more clearing, holding and building, sustaining the gains that have already been made, particularly in Helmand and Kandahar province, and also maintaining the pressure on the Taliban leadership inside the country so as to exert the maximum pressure for any political negotiations with the Taliban.
So there are some, of course, who say that not doing that means that the Taliban will be emboldened, and certainly their statement this morning, they're talking about baseless propaganda, and they're sounding quite robust. Yes,
and it won't do anything for the morale of the Afghan government's supporters in areas that are contested with the Taliban. On the other hand, this is what the Afghan government wants. It's been quite clear from President Karzai that he supports this, and the Afghan MOD have issued a statement in support. Key to this is whether the Afghan National Security Forces can have their capability built quickly enough to be able to step up to the plate to take over from the US and NATO troops.
And obviously that training exercise has been the enormous investment of manpower and money into training the Afghan security forces has been going on for a couple of years now. Do you think it is showing results?
Yes, I think it is. I think there is grounds for cautious optimism. President Obama is right when he says an additional 100,000 members of the Afghan National Security Forces have been developed. And in the last year's operations in Helmand and Kandahar, we have seen Afghan troops showing much more confidence and capability. But there's a lot of work to be done, both in developing their combat support and combat service support, and particularly with the Afghan National Police, because the international effort to develop them lagged behind that given to the Afghan army.
And so, just looking at President Obama's bold statements, Al-Qaeda on the path to defeat, true or not true?
Well, the death of Osama bin Laden quite clearly has been a body blow. And politically, what we're also seeing is Al-Qaeda's narrative globally has been rather left behind by the Arab Spring.
And just very briefly, the other thing he said, the light of a secure peace in Afghanistan. Distant, but the light there, a secure peace?
Possibly. I mean, it's still achievable, but the military pressure which could have been placed on the Taliban and insurgents from a lower drawdown, that's not going to be available to him now. So achieving it might be militarily more difficult.
Ben Barry, thank you.